Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday to you all. We are here again with another show, and if you don't know me, I'm Rafia, and that's Greg over there, who's my co-host. And this is Kathy. She is going to be telling us what she does. In the meantime, I would like to take this opportunity for a moment to say thank you to all who attended our evening last night at our in-person event. It was great. We had such a great event. If you missed it, we are going to have some of those videos be posted soon, so you'll be able to catch what you missed. Okay? So Kathy, welcome, and tell us what you've been doing and how long you've been doing it.
Oh gosh.
Would you rather talk about something else?
Will you stop?
We had a really nice conversation before we came
did.
on, so.
We're good.
But she got a little frazzled because she didn't realize we were going live.
We neglect to tell people sometimes that that's what we do.
It's all good.
It's a
So
minor-
you're gonna bite.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so
so
let's start off with let's start off with the back and
Okay.
then go forward.
Okay.
So the back portion is that I'm a registered nurse
Okay.
and I'm also a nurse practitioner. I've been a registered nurse for 25 plus years. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. Like, really? I remember when people used to say that they were nurses for a long time, and I was like, oh gosh, this is a long time. Well, now I'm there.
Because
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
And
to
so what I do is I do a lot of talking to people, and I get people to talk about something that they are a little bit reluctant to talk about, but because of the fact that I'm a nurse and people trust me and they can open up and everything, I end up having this great conversation with them. And how I want to, let's say that is that, have you ever considered what the best day of healthcare could look like for you if you were unable to speak verbally for yourself and someone else needed to make medical decisions for you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do. I help people, I tease out information, get information from people to find out just exactly what would they want for themselves in the future if they were unable to speak for themselves and make medical decisions.
Okay. And usually, do you have a family member that they think about for this, or like, do you have mostly kids doing it for their parents?
or is it for
No.
themselves?
No, it has to be done for yourself.
For yourself.
This is right.
Okay.
This is definitely for yourself because it's looking and asking, what are the things that are important to you? What are your desires, wishes, values? If you were not able to speak for yourself, and in your directive, what you are doing is giving, as I like to call it, a roadmap to your proxy or your power of attorney, so that they will be your advocate and work with the medical team. They're all going to work in your best interest to make decisions for you. And in your directive, in your living will, which you have done, if you've done it to the best of your ability, is you've said, what are the things that you would want or would not want for yourself if you could not speak for yourself?
Okay.
So you want to do it before someone has to do it for you. It may not be as pleasant as what you want.
Right, exactly. You definitely want to do it ahead of time. And when I say ahead of time, it's like when things are good.
Okay.
You don't want to wait until there's a crisis and then have to create a directive because there's entirely too much stress. Your thinking is all over the place and you're not necessarily making the best decisions for yourself either.
So, this part of your job, is that a newer part than being a registered nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something new that I started doing.
Okay.
But actually, it's not really all that new because when I was in undergrad, I remember an instructor asking the class if anybody had an advanced healthcare directive, and only a couple of hands went up. And then after I had my first job, or while I had my first job as an RN, I remember getting an order to take the directive into a patient. But I had never looked at it before, so I didn't know exactly what was in it. And so I gave them the paperwork, and I had to be off to the next patient because giving medication, making sure that your patient is safe, is much more important than that paperwork.
Sure.
So I wasn't really aware of what was in it, but as time went on, I started to realize the importance of having that directive.
It's tough conversations.
Yeah.
It's
I've had to do it twice. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do.
yeah.
It is not an easy. It's not an easy conversation. It's not something that's easy to think about for yourself, because it's one of those things of where you don't want to think of yourself in those terms.
So you're looking at mortality.
Of course, yeah.
Among other things. I mean, it's
Right.
forcing you to face abuse.
What's the
Right.
age group that people do start doing this?
Legally, you can start doing it at as early as 18.
But nobody does
But-
that, right?
There are some that do it.
Really?
And actually, it's really a good time to start because at 18, your parents legally cannot make decisions for you.
Right.
So then this starts giving you bodily autonomy to be able to make decisions for yourself at 18. And of course, at 18, everybody's invincible. But we also know that there can be accidents that can happen
Sure.
that could cause you to need a directive.
I'm not sure I know any 18-year-olds or have known any 18-year-olds that would even consider
I
something
can't
like
think of
this.
anyone that would be aware, because your parents are indestructible too at that age.
Yeah,
Right,
you
right.
just
Think about it. Yeah, you're
Right.
Yeah.
definitely not thinking that far ahead.
no. I mean, I've lost two really good friends when I was 19, but boy, none of us ever were thinking that way, you know. And even after they passed and there was an accident thing, nobody else like got up and said, you know, it's just something that you don't think about.
I think that we want to live in this panacea that life is always going to be great and we're always going to be young, we're always going to be in good health, we're never going to ever need anything like that, but that's not the reality of life,
True.
unfortunately.
It's true. I think that we have our physical age that we are, and I know I can say for a lot of my friends, we also have an age that we're stuck in our head.
Oh, I get
Yeah.
that.
So I think that's like a kind of a battle.
Right, exactly. Like I said, it's something that we don't want to have to think about and face.
But it's better to think about it in advance and deal with it now than to have to wait and it's either too late. Well, that's it. You don't want it to be too late.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you guys just joined, we're talking to Kathy Choice, and she is a registered nurse, and we're talking about medical directives, right?
Right.
And I know it's a tough conversation today, but please, if you have questions or comments, please put it into the comment section, and I will read them. I have one already. Anna is saying, really important work. Yes, Anna, it is important work. Also to, just get your trust in order and things like that too is also a good advice. Tough things to think about, but it's conversations you need to have.
Right, and one of the things I think about this also is somebody having to make decisions for you. If they have no idea as to what is or is not important to you, how do they effectively help you when they're stepping in to be your advocate?
Yeah. I mean, what I've seen is, like we went through with my mom, just kind of making those choices and decisions for her. But then if you have siblings, you have to also consult each other. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that you do have to go through, and perhaps it would be easier if the kids don't have to go through that if you already have it in play.
Right. And also, when you're saying that about having siblings, when you start talking about having the power of attorney, I understand that a parent, particularly a parent, if there's more than one child, they may want to say, you know what, I'm going to let my children, or I'm going to designate 2 children, 3, 4 children, have equal weight in this decision-making process. But there's so much to think about because there's all this family dynamics that go on. There could be infighting among children. There could be a child that has never ever been responsible for making a decision before.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to get them to make or come to a consensus on your care, and they can't get along. So it's
It
not the
happens.
best
It's
decision.
very common. It's very
There's
common.
also kids that
It's
don't want any
not-
part of it. They don't want to do it. They're not comfortable with it.
Exactly. So it's like when you do this, it's actually best to have a number 1 person and then a number 2 person, opposed to having co-proxies trying to work together. Because if they can't work together, then there's a possibility that the court can come in and have to make the decisions. And at that point, that's not the best for anybody or any family relationships or dynamics.
So we have Tiffany saying, so where does an individual go to get a medical directive, or did I miss that? No, we haven't gotten to that part yet.
We're getting there.
But if you did just join, we are talking to Kathy Choice, and we are talking about medical directives. Hard subject today, but we're still talking. So you want to answer, Tiffany? Where does one go to get this?
Okay, so
Can contact her.
you can contact me, and actually, with transparency, you can find the form online, and you can fill out the form yourself. However, I will say this, filling out the form yourself may not be the best idea, especially if all you're going to do is just check boxes. That is not the most effective way of doing the living will. Yes, for me, I'm going to say I bring in all of this medical, nursing, education, background, experience, and help people tease out the things that are important to them or not regarding all types of medical experiences that one could have. And so I help people create their directive and to be able to create something that's very comprehensive, that is very personalized to them. However, if you don't know all of these medical things, these medical situations that have the potential to come forward or affect your life, you probably aren't getting the best experience or assistance from having that document.
Okay, I'm actually putting into the comments her website. So it's choicesolutions.services. I put it into the comments so you can take a look at it and just hit that, click on it, and it'll take you to her website.
Thanks.
Of course. There's also a phone number we can give out too, but she's also tagged in this live, and you can make comments here and she will answer them for you since she'll be tagged here as well.
Okay, and I'm going to add another little something to
Of
that.
course.
Okay. People feel as though they need to have an attorney to create this document.
Okay.
But like I said, you can create the document on your own. But the one thing I will really say is it's best to have somebody help you with this document that is familiar with the medical environment.
Okay.
Because if you're not familiar with the medical environment, how are you going to effectively help someone with this? Okay? Let's put it like this. Yeah, I've flown in a plane, but I've never flown a plane before. So,
Probably not that hard. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. So it's
And
like
we thank you for that.
We're kinda glad about that. Yeah, that's good.
excuse me? Like, I'm trying not to take that personal.
You take it personally, honey. I'm not getting on a plane. Someone doesn't have their credentials.
Okay.
We'll meet you there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it's
I'll
like,
walk.
yeah, because I don't think it would land too well if I were flying a plane.
But I get the analogy. Yeah,
Okay,
please.
yeah. So having someone that is familiar with this or with the medical environment is really doing you more of a service. Not saying that an attorney can't help you, however, that may not be necessarily the best person to help you, especially if they don't understand the medical environment. They understand the legal environment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, I'll do that, Tiffany. I'm sorry, it's not working for me right now, but I'll fix it, okay? She wants me to make it clickable, so.
Right.
What if the person is disabled and can't use a pen but understand what they're doing? That's the question
I could get
for you.
yeah, my mom was in that state, and I had to get her to sign, and there were witnesses, and we had notary and the whole bit, and you know, my dad was there. I mean, so yeah, I mean, she was able to physically sign it, but she really didn't know
What was
it
happening?
most likely, yeah.
So that's the question.
She understood some of it, but
Can
it's a
you
great
still
question.
do it?
Yeah.
Can
You
you
can
still
still do it. You can still do it, yeah. Because in the end, in order to get the form validated, you either have to have witnesses or you have to have a notary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a notary or a witness, how many witnesses? One or two?
I believe it's two.
I had to have two.
Okay, so 2 witnesses, notary, and that should do it for you.
In
So
fact,
that,
as I recall, when I did my mom's, they said that one of the witnesses couldn't be a family member. I had to have 2 non-family members.
is that true? 2
Yeah,
non-family
that's right.
members?
My dad was there anyway, but I had 2 people that came that were not related that did it. So,
Is that true?
I'd have to make sure.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
But
yeah,
I know that there are certain people that cannot.
physically do it.
Physically,
Right, yeah.
okay. All right, and then the other question this person also is, Vicky's asking is, what is the charge to do this?
How much do you charge?
There are packages that are offered.
Okay, and let me go back to, keep going. I'm just gonna go back.
The packages are what type of packages? I mean, you're talking about.
Depending upon how much help one needs in order to complete the package. I mean, there's one that is, let's say, basic, like someone feels as though that they just need help working through the living will portion. And, you know, because I'm the nurse, I can help you figure some of that out for yourself. And then there's a package that has, where we're talking quite a bit over an extended period of conversations. There are emails going back and forth to make sure that what it is that you would want is going to be covered in here and it's being stated exactly like you would want it to be. As far as how this is delivered to you via the postal service as well as email and the packaging that it comes with and some other documents that come along with it.
Yeah, I did download the form on the internet, but there came a point where I did need to speak to a doctor about some of the questions you got to really think about, and
Right.
you're making decisions that are, you know, pretty important. So
Right.
yeah,
But that's why what Kathy is saying is, what Greg is saying is that he had to do this for his mom and he had to make some decisions, right? And what Kathy is saying is that you can make these decisions for yourself and have it done ahead of time so that other people are not put into a position to make those decisions for you, and also you're getting exactly what you want from it. So I hope that I clarified that a little bit for you. And if you have more comments and questions, please put them into the comments. If you just joined, we're talking to Kathy Choice, and she is telling us about medical directives. And she is a registered nurse. So do you work as a nurse too still, and you do this as well, or how is it that?
So when you say, I get it. So you're asking if I still work in the hospital?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I
So
do
you're
not.
solely working for yourself right now.
Right, exactly. My hospital days are long behind me because I'm also a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
So that actually took me out of working in the hospital.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like not being in the hospital, or do you miss it? I mean, a lot of people just really love that, the helping
The fast-paced
aspect of
environment.
of that job, and so, I'm not sure if you miss it.
There are some components of it that
That you
I
miss.
do miss. However, fortunately, I would say being a nurse, there are so many things that you can do as a nurse besides working at the bedside.
Okay.
And to me, that is the absolute beauty of being a nurse.
I think that's why a lot of people become nurses.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
do want to do something.
Mhm.
A lot of nurses become doctors at some point too.
Mhm.
And in actuality, becoming a nurse practitioner kind of puts you on that trajectory, except for you don't have an MD.
Yeah. That's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think what is roughly the average age that will request an advanced directive?
I'm not sure what the average
I know we're
age
talking
would
about
be.
kids, which is probably unlikely. You're probably
Yep.
a low percentage, but
I think that, saying it like that, I would say probably when people start getting to, and this is my guesstimation,
that's fine.
probably 50-ish or so.
Okay.
Because you started receiving the stuff from AARP, so you start
Start thinking
having.
about it.
Start thinking you're old.
And I'll tell you what, I wish they wouldn't send that on your 50th birthday. That's just mean. If you're watching and you work there, wait a day. Just one day. Thank you.
Well, I never got it.
I
never got it.
If you just joined in, we're talking to Kathy Choice. She's a registered nurse, and she's not working as a nurse right now, but she is doing medical directives. Okay,
Well,
And-
I am working as a nurse. I'm just not working as a nurse in a hospital
in a
at
hospital.
the bedside.
Okay. We have another question that says, "How did you start this business? Did you identify a need?"
There's definitely a need. Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely a need. But one of the things I said earlier was about when I was in undergrad and the instructor asked about people having a directive and then me working at the bedside and me having to give the form to someone. And then as life went on, it's like I realized people don't have this document and they really should. And someplace along the way I created my first directive. So it's been kind of like a progression to get me to this point. And also one of the things that I realized was after COVID or during COVID, a lot of people did not have a directive, and the majority of people actually didn't have a directive, and I'm sure that because they didn't, a lot of people ended up receiving services or care that they would not have wanted.
Yeah. That's a good
But
point.
they didn't have that document, they hadn't had a conversation with anyone to say,
Well,
you know,
they couldn't speak for themselves now. So.
right, exactly.
But
So-
also, like, you couldn't go to the hospital with someone during COVID, right? It would be dropped off, and so then you don't have anyone really
That's a good
advocating
point.
for you either.
Well, actually, there is there was a law that was put into place in 1990, and everyone, or at least everyone should have if you've got your physician should be asking you about having a directive, because your directive should actually be in your medical record. That should be in there. So if you went to, let's say, your hospital, it's like they would be able to access your medical record and see your directive that's there.
Okay.
And depending upon where your directive is stored, because it could be stored through a governmental agency where it could be found also.
Now, do you go to the people when they get a hold of you? Do they come to you? Or is that?
We can, typically it's done virtually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done virtually, but if it's someone that's close around, it's like I could go to them.
Okay.
How long does it take?
It takes as long as someone decides that they want to drag it out, because some people are just like quick, and other people are like, okay, we've had the first conversation.
It's a
I've gotten
life-changing experience. Yeah,
Right.
You gotta think about it.
Right, I've gotten the information back to them, we need to move on to the next step, and they just freeze.
When I did my dad's, it was much easier than the first time because I already knew what to expect, and plus he was coherent and able to tell me what he wanted, so it makes a big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Had your parents ever talked to each other about what they wanted?
Probably not. You know, I can't say for sure, but you know, it's not something that would have come up around me. You know, and I know a lot of the questions my dad had to think about, and I would have too. You know, it's not that simple. You're talking about, you know, you're not a kid anymore, basically, and suddenly you have less time in front of you than you did before. So
Right.
you're making difficult decisions.
Right, and when you think about different medical situations that have the potential to come up,
Yeah, that's
people will, right, it's like, no, you can't address everything,
Right.
but if you have a document that's pretty comprehensive, you can give your proxy and the medical team an idea of what it would be that you would want, even if that exact scenario isn't addressed in the directive.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's more of a roadmap than anything, so that they can help you.
Okay.
Yeah. I know one of the regrets my parents and a lot of friends had was they never took the insurance out to prepare for what happens when you get dementia and you need someone else to take care of you, because you don't think that's ever going to happen.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're in a position where, hey, guess what? It's happening. So,
Right, and so that's like in my directive, one of the things that I did address is that, no, I don't have dementia, I've never been diagnosed with any kind of neurologic disorder that would make me think I'm going in that direction, but if I should, I've already put in there what it is I would like to have happen with, you know, with certain situations. If certain situations arise, this is what I want to happen. So that lets me say, at this point, what's important to me in case something comes
Yeah.
along.
So you still have
Right.
control.
Right, exactly.
Wow, that's a lot.
It
It's
is.
a lot.
It's a
hard-
lot.
It's hard to think about. But if you've got the right support, it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. It just, and I've been through it twice now, so I see things differently. But prior to that, I had zero knowledge of it. I didn't even know. You know, I had power of attorney first, and that didn't solve everything. I still had to do the medical part, so I got the advanced directive.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, that's a good thing to know, because if you do have a power of attorney and you know,
it's very
think-
limited.
Yeah.
It's not what people think. You
Well,
know.
and then it's like the power of attorney for healthcare
Right.
is
It's-
completely different than the
Yeah.
power of attorney, let's say, for finance.
Yeah.
So those are two completely
And
different
most people
things.
immediately go to the finance loan because that's kind of what
Right.
people do. But you really need to. Luckily, I had good advice and I had good people around me that were able to point me in the right direction and get me the right forms.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is something you really do. No one
So you
wants
need
to
both,
base it.
right? Basically, you need the
Yeah.
medical directive and you need the
Yeah.
power of attorney.
I would
You
highly
need
recommend that.
both of them to
Yeah.
do it. So I've got another comment or question. I know my kids as agents who will make a healthcare decision, but is that something I have to discuss with them because on the document there's no directive that I wish? Do we need a notary as well?
I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say, which I said earlier, with having the power of attorney and having more than one child involved, if your children have struggles with making decisions now, if they have struggles among themselves and they're challenging each other with every little decision, a decision needs to be made as to who is going to be the primary person in that role as your power of attorney or your advocate. Yes, that other child can be second, but to give them equal weight
It's not a good idea.
is not a good idea. It's a setup for a bad situation.
Yeah, because they're going to end up not agreeing and at a stalemate.
You end up on
maybe.
reality TV
Yeah.
on one of those shows. Yeah, it's not a good.
Yeah.
You know, you can end up in court with a conservator who does not know you, that is now making decisions for you.
And just to be clear, on the notary part, yes, you do need a notary, and you also need 2 witnesses, right?
No, you can either, it's one or the other.
Oh, I thought he
One or the
said
other.
I had both. I had to do both.
he had to do both.
Yeah. The notary insisted there were 2 witnesses, so I got 2 witnesses. Very well. I don't know. That's what I had to do.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
I wonder if that was because your mom was already.
It may be because also
Yeah.
he was sign and not comprehend.
Yeah, so it might have been a little different. But you might need a witness. We're not sure about the witness part of it, but for sure a notary, right?
And the notary will tell you what you need, or they're not going to come.
Right, exactly. So if you go to her website, she can help you with any of this. It is choicesolutions.services, and I did put it into the Culver City Biz Group's comment section, so you can just press on the link and go there, and you will be in touch with her, right? They can contact you through there.
Right, and also there's email, and which is contact us at choicesolutions.services.
Okay, great.
And Chris
She's
asked
also
earlier-
asking, yeah, should there be 2 doctors recommending what to do? Or just one
Should you
doctor?
get a second opinion?
Now, this is actually the directive. It has to do with your decisions,
Okay,
your values, your wishes, your desires for your future health care.
okay.
So that is whatever is personal to you and what it is you want for yourself.
So for example, if you are saying, if by chance I got dementia, this is how I want to be handled.
Right, exactly.
If by chance. Because
Exactly.
you're not diagnosed with anything, you're just, you're,
Exactly. And you could be diagnosed with something, and let's say that you're diagnosed with, a cancer. And let's say it is a stage 4 cancer, which means that it has spread throughout your entire body. If you were to get into a situation where you couldn't speak for yourself, and someone else needed to make those medical decisions for you, what would you want for yourself going forward?
right.
Some people would say, you know what, do everything. Another person would say, you know what, just let me go. So that has to do with you and what you want for yourself, not what the doctor has to say. Everything in the living will is about you expressing what is important to you, no one else.
Yeah, and the living will and trust is a really important paper to have. If you don't want to pay those probate taxes, it also, like what she's saying, has all that stuff in there with the medical stuff, and then it also has, you know, the monetary things that they want done. So it's really important to have that. It makes it a lot easier on your children, for sure.
And actually, all I do is the healthcare directive, because that's what my background is. My background is nursing. It's healthcare. So I know that, and can help in a way in which the average person doesn't understand or see it.
What do you want people to walk away from what we've talked about today? What do you want to, like,
What's
if
your
you
main
want to
message?
summarize it all?
What's
and
your big
what-
message,
yeah,
your main
right.
message?
I'd say my main message is everybody needs to have their own advanced healthcare directive. They need to have one that is personalized to them, to their desires, their wishes, their values. They need to have a directive that is much more than just checking boxes, because everybody is worth so much more. Everyone has this bodily autonomy where they should be able to say, this is what is important to me while I'm here on this earth. This is what I want for me. And follow through with that. Honor yourself. Just get it done. And I know it's hard, but it's like, I think the big thing is,
You feel a lot
Just-
better when you do it.
right, because it's not, once it's done, you don't really need to think about it for another few years. And I'm going to say, like, let's say every 10 years. So you turn 50, you turn 60, 70. Okay, fine, go back, you're going to look at it again, see if it still aligns with what was important to you then or not. And if not, you need to update it. If you have, let's say, gotten married or divorced,
Then
you
you need
moved
to-
out of
yeah.
state, you need to get another directive, because each state has their own directive. So there's certain things that need to happen, but the bottom line is everybody owes it to themselves to have their own directive.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, thank you, Kathy, for
thanks
not
a lot.
only coming on and sharing all this knowledge with us, but for doing the important work that you're doing. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. And we're, you know, we have these live interviews, and I always sit here and I find out for the first time what my guests are doing. I don't like to know ahead of time. So this was a tough, you know, category, a tough subject matter. But we thank you so much for doing it, and
Thanks for coming today.
and we thank you all for joining us and watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. And again, last night we had a great event. Our next event is going to be on November 6th, and it's going to be at By Your Side Dance Studio on Washington Boulevard. So come, there's going to be free dance lessons. It's going to be a good one. So I think you'll enjoy it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So put that on your calendar. It's from 4:30 to 6:30. Again, that's By Your Side Dance Studio. And it's Deborah Perez who owns it, and she already came on our live before. So we had spoken to her before already, but she's hosting us, so I'm excited about it. Bring your dancing shoes. And thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you guys next Friday, and have a good weekend.
Good weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.